Last of Us. Let's talk about it. This episode deviated so much from the original story. And it succeeded. I'm a huge fan of the portion that Bill's in during the video game. It's one of my favorite parts because not only do you get the bickering between Bill and Ellie, but you also get to fight bloaters and clickers. And in this episode, it's nothing like that. And I think this is one of the times where the deviation from the game, a complete deviation from the story, succeeds. Now we're going to get into some spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode, go watch it and grab some tissues. Don't forget those. I love how they keep filling us in with how the world started to essentially crash, how the apocalypse began. And Bill is one of those guys where, if you have a friend group of people, it's like, who would survive the apocalypse, right? Who would survive the zombie apocalypse? Bill is the true definition or standard of someone who makes it. And we get to see Bill's life, how he built his life all alone, putting up his famous traps. And then one day, he comes across Frank. And then what happens next is just a beautiful love story. I knew from the game that Bill had a relationship with Frank that meant a lot. It was never obviously fully explored. It was just a note. Essentially, I think it was like 2 notes in the game that explained the relationship. Which, did fill in a lot of blanks. But in this, we got a whole episode dedicated to the relationship and friendship and the great bond they had. And it was just beautiful to see. It was just beautiful television. It added so many layers to Bill. He was no longer that survivalist guy, He wasn't just, he's cool with traps. He's good with killing infected. And raiders too. He did kill a lot of raiders in such a cool way. They still gave him that moment, but we also saw the emotional side of Bill. It was so tragic seeing how they ended, but at the same time, they ended it in their own terms. No infected came their way, no raider killed them. They just said, Frank was dying, and Bill's like, there's no life without you. It is very sad. It's such a sad episode, but at the same time, it's beautiful. Bill got to save the person he loved in a way. He always took care of Frank. He never let anything happen to Frank. And this is where Joel comes in. Joel has failed in protecting the ones he loved. Not because, he's a bad person at protecting people. It's just, life happens, It seems like he's never there at the right time. First, he loses Sarah. And then he loses Tess. And now he's in charge of Ellie. That is just expert writing. But, wow. I was not expecting this type of story for this week. This show keeps surprising me. If you haven't watched the show yet, go watch it. This is obviously very different from any type of zombie show or apocalyptic show. And I honestly can't wait to see the next episode. Till next time.